There's a lot of great businesses that are just in business plans, never see the light of day, and there's a lot of crappy businesses out there that are incredibly successful. If businesses are not about ideas, but they're about the execution of those ideas, then your business's success really depends on the people that you hire. That's why we see serial entrepreneurs, people that start one business after the next, they usually hire the same people from place to place to place because they figured if they were successful over here, they'll be successful over there, right? And this is difficult for many small business owners because really, as a class of people, small business owners really stink at hiring other people because we're control freaks, right? We have big egos, and a lot of times we think of ourselves as A players, as the best. Who here would consider himself as one of the best at what they do, an A player? That's it, Carrie? The rest of you, get out. No. Who's an A player? Come on. Come on, we all think of ourselves as really being good at what we do, right? The problem is that many of us who are A players, we end up hiring B players, right? Because we don't want to hurt our egos. And the B players hire C players, and the C players hire D players. And it's a problem. I was hired a couple years ago by a CEO of an electronics company that was trying to figure out why his salespeople were failing. So I went and I interviewed the salespeople, I interviewed the customers, and what I found out was every single time the salesperson would get close to a sale, the CEO would come in, the founder, the entrepreneur would come in and sabotage the sale so he could come in and save the day. I told this to the CEO, and then what happened? He fired me, exactly right. Right? So we've got to make sure that we hire the right people because that's where your leverage comes from. If you don't have other people working for you, if you can't go on vacation and still make money, you have a job, not a small business. So the first one is you've got to be able to hire the right people. The second one is you've got to be able to meet the right people, the right prospects. You ever heard the expression, 6 degrees of separation? What does that mean? What does that mean, 6 degrees of separation? So, who would you like to meet? Anybody in the world? Who would you like to meet? You'd like to meet Bill Gates. So the idea is that he's just 6 people away. He would just have to meet 6 people and he'd be able to meet Bill Gates. I've actually found this true over the years. Pretty much anybody that I've wanted to meet except Oprah, you can get to. Right? Can't get to Oprah, but that's just the way it is. Maybe it's a little easier now with what's going on with her network. So you're only 6 people away. When we network, we do it because we all believe, and that's why networking is so important. We all know that it's not what you know, it's who you know. No matter what we may teach our children, what you know gets you a seat at the table. That's a requirement for admittance, but who you know is going to get you the gig every single time. So we come to events like this to meet other people. So who here brought a business card with them tonight? So who would like to do a little demonstration with me on stage for $10? Okay, come on up. Did I say $10? Okay, so let's say that we're meeting for the first time, okay? So we're meeting for the first time, so I'm going to hand you my business card. I'm going to say, hi, I'm Barry. I help small business owners get unstuck.
And I'm Gary. I actually trap nuisance animals.
Thank you. Good to meet you. All right, give him a round of applause.
Awesome.
No, really. Your wife wants it. So I now have Gary's business card, and if I don't need to trap any nuisance animals right away, let's say my kids are away at school, what do I do? What do I do with Gary's card immediately after he gives it to me? I put it in my pocket, right? All right, I go home. What happens to that business card? All right, so it either goes to the dry cleaners, it gets washed, something. Maybe if you're lucky, it comes out of your pocketbook, out of your pocket, and it goes to a special resting place in your office called the business card graveyard, right? Where all those business cards go. What we really have to understand is that if I don't have a need for a nuisance animal right now, I've got to stay in touch with Gary, or Gary's got to stay in touch with me over a long period of time in order to build a trustful relationship, in order for me to eventually buy from him or for me to refer to someone to him. One of the problems we do as small business owners, we constantly keep selling to people that have no longer an interest to buy. What is the best answer when I go out and try to sell something to someone? What's the best answer that I could get? What is it? Sure, yes, I want to buy what you're selling, thank you, here's a check. Or cash is better, right? What's the second best answer? Think about it. No. Why is maybe a good answer? Actually, the second best answer is no. Because what no does is it releases you. It means no, not now. It doesn't mean I don't put them in my marketing queue and continue to sell to them, but it releases you from spending all this time. I mean, who here has gone out, created a huge proposal for someone, and then never heard from them again? Right? I mean, somewhere along the line, you contact these people, but you got to give up and let go and move on to people that really do want to buy from you. I mean, I love people that I call up and say, I have no interest in having you as a speaker at our conference. You stink. I'm like, that's great. Let me go on to the next person, right? Because I don't waste time with people. That's why we waste so much time selling to people that are never going to buy from us. First one, what was the first one? We got to hire the right people. Second one, meet the right people, right? The third one is we've got to be able to sell to the right people. Whenever I go into a business, the first thing I always say is, show me the customers, right? It's kind of like, show me the money. What movie is that from? You can tell I watch a lot of movies. What movie is that from? Show me the money. I love that. You remember the part in the movie where Jerry Maguire, who's played by Tom Cruise, he comes back to Dorothy Boyd, being played by Renee Zellweger. He gives his whole speech. What does she say? What does she say? You had me at hello. I love that part. It has nothing to do with the presentation. I just really like it. Many people, you got to have sales to be successful in business, right? Because if you don't have sales, what do you got? You got a hobby, you got debt, you got inventory, right? So, how many of us here don't like to sell, are uncomfortable with selling? Okay, some of the other ones are, some of the rest of you here are liars, all right? It's nerve-wracking because who raised their hand over there? You did, right? See, he deserves 10 bucks. So Gary, when you go, why don't you like to sell?
I guess maybe the failure part.
Yeah, so when someone says no to you, it makes you feel like crap, right? All I heard was a raccoon through his mouth. That's all I really heard. What'd you say?
You want a raccoon to just put it in their house.
You know, the alarm systems do that. All the guys do that all the time, right? So we feel bad when someone says no to us. It makes us feel bad. It makes us feel like crap. I'm going to show you how to grow your business without ever having to sell anything again. Do you want to hear about that? Yeah. Right? Forget about sales. I want you to focus on relationships. 2 new principles of sales I want to teach you. The first one is people only buy when they're in pain and have money to solve the pain. Anything you buy, you do it because you're trying to solve a pain, or you can call it a great need. For example, you probably don't have it here, but in Chicago, when I go buy a bottle of water in a movie theater, it's $4.50, right? Why do I do that when I can get it for 35 bottles at Costco for the same price? I'm thirsty, right? So I was in Las Vegas about 3 weeks ago speaking at Planet Hollywood, and I went down for breakfast, and I had some toast, and I had a banana. And I looked on the bill, and it said the banana was $3.99. So I brought the server over, and I said, a banana, $3.99, really? She looks at me, and she says, this is Las Vegas, baby. Anything can happen. But we do this because we're in pain, right? Why do we send our children to college? Why do we invest a lot of money sending our kids to college? What's the pain? We want our children to have a better life, right? We want to have a better opportunity. And then the government and the loans provide the resources for us to be able to buy it. Who has something that they bought they don't think they did it out of pain? Test me. Yes, sir. A guitar. How do you feel when you, why did you buy the guitar? It makes you feel good, right? You're able to escape your otherwise miserable life. I'm only kidding. No, but it makes you feel good, right? You're trying to get someplace else. You're trying to feel you're in another place, right? Remember, if you have a business, in order to be successful, sell painkillers, don't sell vitamins. Sell painkillers, don't buy vitamins. People always will buy painkillers. Why can the natural resource, the oil companies, why can they fluctuate prices? Let's just leave it at that, right? Why do prices fluctuate so much for the oil? Because they can, right? We need it for our cars and our houses and our fuel. Unless you're me, I just bought a Nissan Leaf electric car. First principle, what's the first pain principle? People buy when they're in pain. Second sales principle, we actually can't sell anything to anybody. We need to be there only when people are ready to buy. So if I get a postcard in the mail from West Liberty University, and I have no children of college age, does that make any sense? No, I'm not there when I'm ready to buy, right? I was speaking last week in Arizona at a child care conference, a daycare center conference, and the question I asked was, if I have no children, am I a good prospect for a daycare? Well, no. You've got to be there when people are ready to buy. That's why, especially in difficult economies, marketing is so important. You've got to say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Keep reminding people that you exist. That's why social media is so great, because you can stay in touch with people in really an unobtrusive manner, unless you become a social media monster, where you can remind people to think about you every now and then. So we've got to be able to sell to the right people. The fourth one is that we've got to be able to offer outstanding customer service. Now, you may all say, I know all that. I know I got to offer great service. But let me tell you now, with social media, customer service has become the new marketing. Remember when you were dissatisfied, they said you used to tell 7 people? Now, through social media, you can tell 7 million people. And today, and we talk about this in Small Town Rules, people believe what the community thinks more than they believe what the corporation advertisers. So when I'm shopping, how many Amazon shoppers do we have here? Right, I go on Amazon. What do you read first? You may read the description of the product a little bit, but who goes down and reads what other people thought of it? Right? That's really important. When you go on eBay, do you ever look at what the ratings of the seller is? Absolutely. We believe what our peers tell us. We believe what the community tell us. That's why it's kind of like a small town, because now that every customer can talk to every other customer, for your business, it's like living in a small town. So there's got to be great customer service. Most things are a commodity. What's going to set you apart from everybody else is to offer great service. So the first one is you got to be able to hire the right people. Second one is you got to be able to meet the right people. Third one is sell the right people. And the fourth one is the customer service. And there's one more thing that I really want all of you to do. Who's ready to make a change and make a commitment for change? Right? You want to make a commitment for change. You know, Albert Einstein had this great expression where he said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.